Hi, this is Mary Eve with Purdue Extension Office in Harrison County. And as you can see, we're getting ready to cook again. My hair is up, my apron's on, and I just finished washing my hands. Today we are going to make shepherd's pie. And this recipe originates in the British Isles. And this is a map of the British Isles, and the British Isles consist of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, and there's a bunch of smaller islands around. The recipe itself comes from England, and London is the capital of England. And here is the English flag, and it is red, white, and blue, just like the French flag and the American flag. Now, shepherd's pie is normally made with lamb, but we don't have lamb, so we are using ground beef today. I'm going to use 1 pound of ground beef, a whole onion, 2 medium-sized carrots, a couple of splashes of Worcestershire. We're going to use only a 1/4 cup of broth, and I have a vegetable broth today because that's what was in my cabinet. 1/4 teaspoon each of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. We're going to use about 1 cup of cheese, and you can use whatever cheese you have at home. This one is a mixture that has some shredded cheddar cheese in there, Monterey Jack cheese. So it's whatever you have is fine. This also takes a cup of frozen peas. If you don't have frozen peas and or carrots, you can use, say, a batch of mixed vegetables. And the half and half here is for the mashed potatoes that is going on the top, as well as these potatoes. And you can see I've already washed my vegetables and peeled 3 of the potatoes. Now when I peel potatoes, I put my peels directly into a bag, and that saves me a lot of time with cleanup. And then also you're not getting all your peels on the counter or any starch marks on the counter. And so it just makes it a lot easier to clean as you go. And I always believe in that. My father taught me that. And his mother was a very good cook. And so we're going to just peel these. I will not be peeling the carrots. The carrots will go in with the peels. And the peels have a lot of nutrients. And a lot of people don't know that. So my potatoes are already peeled. I'll put my bag away here. Now, if you get stuck one day, you want to make this, but it's like, oh my gosh, I have no potatoes. It is okay to use a pack of instant mashed potatoes to go on top. It will work just fine, no problems. And okay, so I have my pound of ground beef going. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I slice the potatoes, the carrots, and the onions. So our potato, we want to go ahead and slice it in half so that we have a flat surface to work with. And I'm going to make these about bite-sized pieces so that they will boil up quickly. And I'm going to put them into a pot of cool water or just faucet water. You want to start out with all your potatoes the same degree of water. Now, some people, they will cut their potatoes as their water is starting to boil. And then this will cause some of your potatoes to go into hot water, some into cool, so they'll be cooking at a different rate. By doing it this way, all in the pot at the same time, about the same size, they will all cook at the same rate. So take just another step to cut these up. And we'll go ahead and put these in the pot. We'll be right back. Okay, wiping off my cutting board, got my knife clean again, and we're going to go for the carrots. Now the carrots, we want these kind of small bite-sized pieces. I'm going to cut off the 2 ends. Those go down into my trash bag, cleaning as we go. And again, we want a nice flat surface to cut on. And if you don't cut these quite right, like I just did, it does not matter. It'll all get mixed in with the other ingredients in shepherd's pie. And you always want to make sure that you watch where your fingers are. Try not to get distracted when you are holding a knife. Notice I'm keeping my fingers away when I'm slicing through. Putting the flat sides down so they don't roll around on you. So that's our carrot. Then we have our 1 onion that we're going to dice. So we cut off the root end, cut off the stem end, cut the onion in half. Take off the outer layers so you get to a nice fresh layer. Put your scraps in your garbage bag. And this whole onion is going to go in there. So I showed you on the quiche recipe how I cut an onion, and again, it's however you feel comfortable with doing it, but always making sure that your fingers are out of the way. Now these 2 ingredients are going to go in the pan with the hamburger that I already have browning. So let's go over to the stove. Okay, so I've already browned my hamburger, poured off the excess grease, and gave it just a quick rinse. And this gets all the excess fat out of here. And then I'm going to add in my carrots and my onions. And we're going to cook these until the onions are soft and kind of translucent. And this is going to take a few minutes. If you'll notice on my back burner here, I have my mashed potato, or my cut potatoes, and they are starting to get warm, almost to a boil. And from this point on, you want to stay over here by the stove, so that you don't burn anything or that your mashed potato pot doesn't boil over. So we'll see you in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and check. And I'll raise the lid away from me because there's a lot of steam in here. And the onions are getting pretty well done. They're turning a nice color. And we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients because this has to simmer a little bit afterward. Here's our broth. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of broth, and I'm wiping off the lid just in case there's some funky junk on there. And measure out a 1/4 cup. And you want to make sure that you use the rest of that broth within a few days. So I guess I'll be making some soup. Have a little bit of that. It says a couple of shots of Worcestershire. And I'll put in a couple more. And we have a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. teaspoon each of salt and pepper. You probably don't think that's a lot of salt, but it's always best to go easy on the salt, and a person can always salt their own food. Because once you put too much salt in there, you cannot take it back. There's all of our spices. Did not need much. And then we're going to add 1 cup of frozen peas. And then we're going to cover this and let it simmer till the carrots and the peas are cooked. This is a nice colorful dish, and it's also kind of like comfort food once we get it all put together. You'll see why. Okay, we'll meet you back in just a few more minutes. Our potatoes are done cooking, so now it's time to mash them. And mashing is basically just smashing your potatoes. And I usually drain my potatoes. There's probably still a little starch water down at the bottom, but I like to squish mine up first before adding any of the liquid, because you might be adding too much liquid and end up with potato soup, which would still not be a bad thing, but we want mashed potatoes. Now, if you're using beaters, those are called whipped potatoes. Mashed potatoes are not quite as smooth. They do still have a little chunkiness left in them. I'm going to add just a little bit. We have half and half today because in our refrigerator at work, we did not have any milk. And we do have about a tablespoon of butter that we're going to add. And just a little bit of salt and pepper. I did not put any salt in the water. If I put salt in the water, I may not put any salt as I'm mashing my potatoes. Now, if you don't happen to have half and half milk or whatever, I do sometimes reserve the water that the potatoes came in. And there's still some nutrients in there as well as some of the starch, so it's okay to add that in there. And you can experiment, see what you like the taste of. And again, you may not have something at home, so you may have to substitute. Almost there, I want them a little smoother. So we're just adding a little bit at a time to make sure that we don't end up with that potato soup. This will probably do it. Yes, that looks good. Still a little stiff, but still nice and creamy. Set this aside just a second. This is our glass dish that we're using. It's about the size of an 8x8. It's just that this is rectangular instead of square. We're going to put some spray on there so that our stuff does not stick. Makes it easier to clean up. And I'll be right back with the beef filling. And there's the filling for down the bottom. See, our carrots and our peas are cooked but still have nice color. So we're just going to drop this down at the bottom of the dish. Spread that out evenly, but not pack it. And then we're going to top this with our potatoes. And I just got onion all over my spoon. going to spread our potatoes over the top, making sure to seal around the edges. Keep everything underneath nice and moist. And this is going to go into a 400-degree preheated oven for about 25 minutes. After the 25 minutes, I'm going to take it out and put a cup of shredded cheese over the top. I'm going to cover this with foil and keep it nice and moist. Okay, while this is baking, I'm going to go ahead and get my kitchen cleaned up. We'll be back in 25 minutes. Okay, while we were gone, my 20 minutes were up on heating the shepherd's pie, so I went ahead and sprinkled my 1 cup of cheese over the top, popped it in for about another 5 to 7 minutes until it's all good and melted. And we're having an extra thing of comfort food, some homemade drop biscuits that I made while this was cooking, along with cleaning up the kitchen. So let me go ahead and serve this. This is going to be super hot. I would suggest at home that you wait for a few minutes before eating this. As you can see, there's a lot of steam coming out on that. And of course, get to have a drop biscuit to go with that. Now the drop biscuit recipe is on the Miss Mary Strawberry Jam and Drop Biscuits if you want to know how to do it. It's very simple, 3 ingredients, takes no time at all. So let's get some mashed potatoes and cheese and a bit of carrot with that. So good, comforting. Great thing to have on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon to enjoy with your cup of tea. Cheerio, and I'll see you soon.